You guys aren't going to believe this one. Hey everybody, Mike from Just Watch back with another Just Watch review. Today we are going to take a look at this Spinnaker dive watch that I just received in the mail from the UPS man. Full disclosure, Panos from Spinnaker contacted me and asked if I would consider reviewing a watch for the channel. Said he really liked the content and what we are doing, so who am I to say no to that? I checked out the watches online, their full selection online. I actually picked this one out, which is one of their lower price watches. It retails for under $300 US. I have to tell you, my first impression on the watch is very strong. I think you're getting a lot of watch for the money, and I really like the overall aesthetic, kind of a vintage type of thing going on with the look, which you guys know I love from my experience with the Black Bay Black. Also, wanted to mention while we are here on the intro part of this episode, if you guys have not entered to win the Seiko SP-5055 watch yet, check out the last episode we posted on our channel. I am giving away a brand new Seiko watch to one lucky subscriber. If you guys want to see the review I did on that watch, it is also linked in the Seiko playlist and also linked in the show notes below the giveaway video. In order to be eligible to win that watch, it's really simple. All you have to do is subscribe to our channel and then watch that video. Comment underneath it that you want into the contest, and also hit that like button. Also would love it if you guys help me out by sharing our content on your social media channels. It always helps the channel grow, and the more we grow, the more reviews we can do, the more time we'll have, and hopefully the better watches we'll be able to get in for you guys to check out as well. So everybody wins as far as that goes. All right, let's get this watch under the light. It is a really cool one, and we'll take a closer look. All right, everybody. Let's run you through the specs and the size. First of all, the case, you're getting a really nicely finished 316L stainless case. You can see it is a brushed finish on the top of the lugs as well as the side, with just kind of a nice bevel that runs there. It is a 43 millimeter diameter. That's from the 9 to the 3 across the case, excluding the crown. 13.25 millimeters thick with a nice profile overall. I think this is going to wear on the wrist very well. I think if you have a smaller wrist, I think you'll be able to wear this without any problem. You can see that nice finish on the case side there as well. As far as the measurement lug to lug, I measured it out at 50 millimeters. The case back on this watch has a little bit of a polish on the lock ring there with the sapphire crystal on the case back, so you can see that nicely decorated Seiko NH35 movement. You can see what Spinnaker did there. They did some nice finishing work overall on the movement, and we'll come back to the movement in just a second. The bezel on this watch is also very nice, unidirectional, 120 click, very positive, and everything aligns perfectly. I don't know if I have, the one thing I do have to say is that there's not a ton of grip on the sides of the bezel here, and I'm not sure if I can get enough grip. No, I can't. I gotta pop off the glove real quick. I can't get enough grip to rotate it around, but it is really nice actually when you're spinning it around. There's no feeling of friction going on there. 120 click with a nice tactile feel to each click, and it comes right back around to that 12 o'clock marker without any issues. The bezel also is fully loomed, as I mentioned, which I like, and I also like just the really kind of nice, simple, clean markings that are on the bezel as well. Let's talk about the dial too. Really nicely finished dial. I'm going to give you guys some close-ups so you can see it a little bit better. It has kind of an almost like a dust, like a silver dust finish with a little bit of texture. It's also very simply signed. You get the Spinnaker at the 12 o'clock, and then there is, see if I can turn over this way a little bit better. At the 6 o'clock, it says automatic 500 feet / 150 meters. Really nice minute track going around there too. And I really like the way that they applied all of the index markers. And of course, the loom seems very active as well. Handset is also bold and easy to read. It reminds me a bit of the original handset. If you look at the very first Rolex and Tudor Submariner, kind of reminds me a bit of that. And that was Spinnaker's inspiration with this watch too, is that vintage dive watch aesthetic. And I forgot to mention that this watch is named after Henry Fleuss, who was the pioneer of the first scuba system, the first underwater breathing apparatus, way back in 1878. I guess it was first put in use in 1880. So some really cool stuff there. To think about the worlds that his invention opened up, it's pretty amazing. The crown on this watch, really nice job. You have a screw down crown, typical 3-position here. So you come out, unscrew it in your first position. You can do your hand winding. This one's interesting too, looking at the spec sheet for the NH35 movement. It takes 55 winds to fully charge this movement. So just keep that in mind if the watch sits for a while and is not running and you need to fully charge it. 55 rotations of that crown to get it wound up again. You come out to half clutch, you can set the time. Setting the time at half clutch is, at half clutch is a very positive feeling. Each click, and there's no slopper play. The date doesn't seem to want to be, at the wrong position or anything like that. So nice job there as far as that goes. And then out at full clutch, of course, you get the hack and you can set the time. Very nice, precise feeling when you're setting the time too. There's no issue there. No feeling of slop in between the crown and the minute hand, which I always like. One thing that drives me crazy is when I'm setting a watch and the minute hand wants to drift as you're closing the crown back down, or something along that lines, and there's nothing like that going on here. Very nice solid click as you close it, and then feeling of the threads is very positive as well. It doesn't feel like it wants to cross thread or there's any play or anything like that. And it screws down very firmly with no feeling of mush or anything like that. You definitely know that you are turned back down. Have to mention the crystal here on this as well. It is a sapphire crystal with just a little bit of dome to it, and you can see that nice step up out of the bezel. I really like what they did here. It doesn't feel like it's going to be exposed to damage or anything like that. So really nice. And like I said, I think it keeps in that vintage inspiration that they were trying to achieve. I think they did a really nice job there overall. Also, I didn't mention the watch is really nice and light considering it's a full-size 43mm dive watch. Granted, it is on a leather strap instead of a bracelet, but as this sits, it is only 95 grams, so good stuff there. Let's talk about the movement now. We're getting a 24 jewel automatic movement made by Seiko. This is their kind of in-house generic movement, the equivalent to their 4R35 or 4R36 movement that they do. That is, the 4R36 is the movement that is inside the Seiko Turtle. It has the day-date complication. The 4R35 is basically the same movement, just does not have the day complication. So just a quick little primer there. So this is the NH35, which is their unbranded version. Spinnaker goes and brands the rotor themselves, decorates the rotor. You can see there, it's very nicely done. Really nice looking overall. You get 24 joules, 41-hour power reserve, and it vibrates along at 3 hertz or 21,600 vibrations per hour. This has something like a -30, +20 rating as far as accuracy goes, which is pretty huge. In my experience, this watch at least is running at about 4 seconds fast per day. So very acceptable as far as that goes. Good stuff there with the movement. Finally, talk about the strap here. You get this kind of a really cool leather vintage looking strap with the nice contrasting stitching. Has a nice feel to it, feels pretty supple, doesn't feel cheap in any way, doesn't have that kind of stiff feeling that a lot of Seiko leather straps have when they come out of the box. And it also has a nicely signed, if we go the right side here, has a nicely signed clasp, typical pin and clasp there as well. So let's get this watch on so we can give you a look at it on the wrist and give you a wrist check as well. So I am continuing to wear this Jeanalt Ocean Rover, which I am quite fond of. I actually really like this watch quite a bit. I've been wearing it a lot. I really like the bracelet, as I stated in the review. If you've not checked out my review on this watch, do go back and check out the review. So let's pop this one off. Yeah, you can see that the strap is a little bit stiff still. Definitely needs to be broken in. Get that underneath there. Get that caught. There we go. So really comfortable actually on the wrist. I think it's a really nice size too. I think the 43 millimeter is a really nice size in that it's very wearable. Definitely doesn't feel like it's taking over my wrist or going to dominate my wrist. Just feels good on the wrist overall and really nice and light. This is definitely a watch I think you can wear a lot without any worries and just be very comfortable no matter what time of year it is. So that's it for this. Let's get out of the lights here and go back and give you guys the conclusion. So that's it for this Spinnaker Fleuss Edition dive watch, vintage dive watch. I think they did a really nice job of getting that kind of a dive watch look and feel without going the total, straight up homage route. The watch has a nice, unique look, a really great dial, really good build quality, and also good materials. Sapphire crystal NH35 movement from Seiko, 316L stainless case, screw down crown, 150 meter water resistance, all the stuff that you want in a dive watch. And I think if you're looking for a men's dive watch in the US $300 price range, I think you should give this one some strong consideration. I think it stacks up really well against the Seiko Turtle or just about any other watch out there on the market at this time. Two things I didn't like, or actually one thing I didn't like and one thing that I would like to see with the watch. First thing I didn't like is the luminous material is a little bit on the weak side. Maybe Spinnaker can acquire some Seiko LumiBright while they're buying the movements from them at the same time. Maybe get a 2-for-1 package deal or something along that lines. The second thing, like I said, not really a complaint, but just something I would like to see on the watch is I would love to see it have drill look holes on the case. Just the ability to switch out of straps and into bracelets and back and forth, etc., on a tool watch is always a welcome addition to any watch. All right, everybody, that is it for this review. I hope you guys like it. Like I said, 2 thumbs up on this one. Strong watch for $300 US, or actually under $300 US. If you like the content, please do hit the subscribe button. Remember to also to enter my giveaway for the Seiko watch, and also please do hit the like button and leave us a comment on what you think about the watch if you have any experience with it. All right, everybody, that's it for this episode. We will be back soon with another. All right, thanks.